Hey guys, Professor Bell Comic Book University, and what we got here is Batman, All-Star Batman, issue number 7. Now, we got Scott Snyder on this, and what he shows in this morning, because he's proven himself, I mean, done, but time, anytime, whenever he feels like it, literally from issue to issue, even though this is still, this is a part 2 from the part 1 that we had last issue, that amazing issue where I had to start picking up the issue and reviewing it because you got Mr. Freeze doing his thing. Here you got Poison Ivy doing hers, and it is a continuation of the story, believe it or not. But just ever so rarely, this little virus, this disease that Mr. Freeze had opened up and exposed the world to. Now, well, everybody's kind of got to deal with this. It's a huge thing in Washington, so Washington State specifically. Essentially, we start off with Poison Ivy hypnotizing some jabroni in some shop, and he really is a jerk, and she kind of sets him straight a bit. Later, she goes off into Death Valley, California. Now, Batman starts doing his walking through the wasteland thing, and I've gotten kind of used to this idea already. I really like it, and his suit was glowing like a neon green. No, not quite as bad as Batman Forever. We can just forget about all that nonsense, but the idea is that he was walking in, it looked like it was a different suit than the one he was walking up to Mr. Freeze with. This was cool because I started thinking, okay, maybe they're going to do like an Iron Man kind of thing where he's got a different suit for everything, which I don't know. They've kind of done that before. And if they did it with this kind of artwork that they're doing and the kind of storytelling that they're doing now, I think it could work. But it really wasn't a different suit. Same old thing, just happened to be glowing differently. Maybe it's because that's the way that she was seeing this. This was a story from Poison Ivy's point of view. Well, she basically smacks him around and he doesn't have a chance against her. I was hoping at one point that he was going to reveal that he had this ability to make her plants, leave him alone. But nope, he literally went in there with nothing except wax lips. Yes, that comes up a little bit later. Obviously, it's Poison Ivy. But Batman essentially says that he's dealing with some kind of a disease that they're calling Lilith's Cradle because this girl named Lilith is the one who found it first. And he tries to explain that she's only got a couple hours left to live, but she's seen the results. He gives her a sample of the disease, and she says no. She died hours ago, didn't she? There's no way. Which shows, I mean, she really was a fantastic, probably world's leading botanist, one of them at the very least. And basically, Batman says, okay, she did, but there's an outbreak going on right now, and you got army people coming in here after you right now. And she knows this because there were people asking about her at that other shop where she had to smack around that jabroni. Well, these guys come in quantum armor. No, this doesn't actually exist, but essentially it's supposed to be like the perfect camouflage where they're invisible to your naked eye, even. Well, Batman, he doesn't have to worry about that stuff because he's Batman. And Poison Ivy can actually see them pretty well, too. I guess because she feels the vibrations of them walking over top of the roots of the ground. Well, she kisses Batman and says, go fight for me. And he says, okay, I am the one who will fight for you. And he basically goes off and he kicks some serious butt, gets rid of all these bad guys. She goes nuts because they wind up accidentally or purposely, whatever, burning down the tree that she was working on. And then he reveals, like I said before, the wax lips. So now nothing was bothering him. He was still fighting for her, and that made her a little bit more sympathetic to him. So she decides to help, and she says one thing, just change that name, Lilith's Cradle. If she was a young botanist, there was a really cool story where the reason why she became bad and this new girl that come up in the slight relation, like friend of a friend, 6 points of 6 degrees to Kevin Bacon, of why this Lilith girl is connected somehow to Poison Ivy. So she just says, change the name. This girl should not have to die with that nonsense on her, like, the stigma of that. And there's actually a really cool thing in here earlier about stigma in the very beginning with that jabroni guy. Wow, he was actually a lot more interesting than I originally thought. So the next issue is supposed to have the Mad Hatter in it, and that sounds like it could be interesting. I don't know what they're going to do, but if they're going to do the same kind of thing where his suit looks a little bit different to him also, guys, I really like the way that this comic is being written right now, and I like the idea that there's a different artist all the time lately. I hope they're going to continue with that trend. They had Jacques last time. They have Tula Lole. I might be pronouncing the name wrong there. Sorry if I am, but I like the idea that they're doing that. Different artists to capture a different expression. It's not like it's the first time it's been done, but it isn't done enough sometimes. And if you got a really good story, which means you have to have a really good storyteller, why not do something like that? So guys, I'm going to give this comic a B+. I really liked it a lot. I genuinely can't wait for the next issue. Guys, Professor Bell, Comic Book University. Hey, class dismissed.